Alright, so I'm trying this different. I've been making them shorts, but with them shorts, you don't get to see comments and likes and subscribes and all that good stuff. I'm trying to reach as many people as possible and open eyes and minds to what's really going on in this world. Um, People, we are so special. God blessed all of us. And it's the power of belief. Jesus is real. The reason they put a crown of thorns on his head is because the earth started growing and the wedding was being prepared. The whole earth, the flowers, the fruits, the berries. Blackberries grow on thorn vines. A lot of berries do. Thorns and thistles, as the book would say. There's truth in every religious book, and that's how they trick us, is through truth being deceived. Everybody who has a religious experience, they'll find truth in whatever predominant religion is around them, and then they believe it wholeheartedly that every bit of it is truth. Now, there's definitely truth in all of those religious books, okay? But there's been manipulation done to convince people that only their way is right, and anything that separates and divides us from each other ain't what's right. We are all in this together, all right? It's like a giant puzzle. You need every piece for the picture to come out, but you can't just put any piece beside each other. It's got to fit with each other, evenly yoked, as they would say. Just like you're putting a puzzle together or a symphony of music. Everybody has a song in their heart. Everybody is part of it. In the old days, before we had these books and needed a preacher to guide us to God, we sung. We sung to God. We sung at work. We sung at home. We sung from our heart. We spoke from our heart. And that right there was God given. I love you all. Everybody wants the same things in life. And the trick is, they've tried to convince us to be consumers. And we're not consumers, we're creators. And for some reason, people have forgotten how to create, what we create, and that we are the creators. They send our kids to these public schools, force them to go, and teach them all kinds of bullshit, when in fact, the world is what we create it to be. All these things, they ask these kids these questions, and it's the same shit from 3rd grade to 12th grade with very minor variation. Keep drilling it over and over and over and getting the kids to say what the answers are to these questions about space and planets and temperature and clouds and all this nonsense. All right? It can be what we want it to be, not what science claims it to be. Science ain't nothing but horseshit, all right? There's truth and lies, and there's creation and consumption. Consumption used to be the leading cause of death. They put it flat out, but they would teach you nowadays that it was some kind of disease that you would catch and it'd kill you. Consumption, I guess it is a kind of a disease, but it's Basically, you're consuming too much and not creating enough. Nothing should control you. You should be in control and listen to your heart and listen to God. And we have forgotten how to connect with God. And that is what we're all missing. Everybody has the same issues with not feeling fulfilled. Now, I have lived both sides of the coins. I've been poor. I've had money. I've been the one in need. I've been the one helping. By all civilization standards, I was successful. I was a single father, which I did have a wife, but I had my pick of pretty much any woman I wanted because I had money and I was responsible and I did whatever needed done. I raised two amazing angels, absolutely amazing. One boy and one girl, and absolutely amazing. They turned this heart of mine into gold, and I could never thank them enough for teaching me how to love unconditionally. And then the only other thing that I was missing was the love of God, which was always there. I was just too blind to see it and feel it. And once I did, couldn't nothing turn me back. And then everybody wanted to act like, oh, went religious. No, I had an experience. And like everybody else, I turned to religion for the answers. And I didn't want to just be stuck on one, so I looked at them all. And I seen pretty much the same story in every religion, no matter which one you pick. And here's the twist, y'all. It's magic. You pretty much cannot believe in God and not believe in magic. How else do you think these miracles happen? How do you think He makes the impossible possible? I do not put limitations on what good and God can do. I don't put limitations on what we can do when we put our hearts and minds in the right place and quit letting ourselves be controlled by money, by countries, by division. And it makes me so upset that the few people that actually have their eyes half open are so filled full of hate, whether it's sexism, racism, or religion difference, whatever it is. It's just insanity. I'm not against any religion that helps to make someone a good person, but the differences that we fight over with religion, I've always said I believe the one thing that would be done is all religion would be disbanded for all the horrible things carried out in the name of religion and God. I really don't believe that's ever what God intended to be done with religion. And that's not God doing that. That's man, and that's not even man. That's the corruption of man. And people give in to these lower vibration, whatever you want to call it, greed, anger, hate, and it's seeds. You're sowing seeds of bad things or good things. Now, if you want a good harvest, you sow good seeds. If you want a bad harvest, you sow seeds of envy and jealousy. And I noticed when I had money, all I wanted to do was give, and I gave so much, all right? And I was disrupting the order that they wanted. And I finally realized why all these people end up leaving their neighborhoods and moving into gated communities, because I'm sure many did the same as I did and was giving, and it seemed no matter how much they give, the people around them seem to turn against them. They seem to hate them. And then somebody, whoever, put that no good deed goes unpunished. Now that is just the biggest shit that I cannot stand. All good deeds deserve to be rewarded. Now, that's not saying you should only do good deeds to be rewarded. The good deed in itself is the reward, but I have so much to tell y'all. And one of my biggest beefs with religion is the bad part, like Revelations and all this scary stuff. We don't have to have none of that, y'all. We can skip right over it and go straight to the good. But they don't want that. They want you in a state of fear and panic and worry. They do it through controlling food, weather. Did you know what? We control the weather, y'all. That's why they have the news tell you what the weather is for the next week. Because if they get you to watch it and believe that's what the weather's going to be, guess what? That's what it's going to be. And if y'all have noticed, they've been getting that shit way wrong here in the past couple years. They've been wrong more than they've been right because somebody's not believing the bullshit anymore. There's a time and a season for everything, as they would say. Well, the time has come for people to come together and understand there is enough here for everybody to have what is going to fulfill us. We should not be spending our lives. I don't care how nice you pick your house or whatever. A prison is a prison. Whether you realize it or not, you work your entire life to pay for your pretty little prison that they take from you with taxes or whatever, and within a generation or two, it's gone. You never own anything, but you spent your entire life working to have it. For what? To look, have the biggest house in the neighborhood? To show off? I'm a simple man. I love helping people. That is what brings me the most joy in my life. And I don't understand greed. I don't understand envy. I'm not even in a really good place right now. I'm homeless. I had 5 cars, a Cadillac, a 4-door truck, a Camaro, and plenty of money. And that didn't bring me joy. But seeing other people do good, it brought me joy. Even if I don't have anything, I'm happy to see other people win. I'm happy to see other people get fulfillment and enjoyment out of life. And I wanted so much for everybody to get enough money and have these things so that they could understand what the real issue is. And against all odds, against everybody stacked against me, trying to stop me, I had to get it all on my own. Wasn't nothing give to me except by God. And when God's for you, who can be against you? And by myself, not by myself, all right? Because I was intelligent enough to know that as strong as any one person is by themselves, you're always going to be stronger with other people with you. Now, I was intelligent enough to know that people aren't going to do things if they're not getting what they need out of it. Now, I wasn't a greedy person, and a lot of times if anybody got fucked, it would be me before I allowed anybody else to get a bad deal. But I made sure whatever they motivated them to do the best, that's what I made sure they got. So that it's like a well-oiled machine. You make sure the parts are working at top capacity. But at the same time, we're not a machine. We are not parts that are meant to just be changed in and out like these soulless corporations do, and I cannot stand it. I can't. Can y'all wake up and see that the stock market is rigged? These billionaires control the stocks. It's how they keep themselves rich without having to do anything. It's a club that very few are part of, and they sit on their hill looking down upon us. And they only allow the ones that have that much money, the ones that'll continue to oppress and keep their foot on the throats and necks of the many. The many are the ones who are strong. These people are so wrong and so wicked in the things they do. You have got to keep yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually clean. All right? And they tell the truth. It's universal law. They have to tell the truth. It's right in front of us. All the 5-pointed stars on Starbucks, 5-pointed star. Hardee's, 5-pointed star. Every elevator in a hotel, get to the ground floors, the 5-pointed star. Magic is real, y'all. All hospitals, schools, and prisons, they call them castles. And they're all laid out the same way. They are taking the power from you. We are where the energy comes from. That's why power lines are above the ground and run alongside the roads. That's why computer chips look exactly like towns do. If you take an aerial view of a town and put a computer chip next to it, they look exactly the same. The streets are the solder lines, the components are the buildings, and we are the energy inside the components, powering the whole thing. All these towns, the streets have the same names. Even the towns do, from England to here, across the freaking world. And that's how they control everywhere from one place. And I don't care what religion you look at, whether you go back to the pantheon of gods, or you're talking Hinduism, or Christian, or Jewish, it's all the same. And guess what? All their rituals, it's magic, y'all. It's magic, symbolic rituals in every single religion. This is the blood of Christ. This is the body of Christ. This is the Passover, the burnt offering. This is they're all, every single one of them, magic. Down to the recipes of cooking. Back in the day, it was known that this is magic, and potions, and in the last 250 years, we decided that everybody for the last 6,000 years was off their rocker, that witches won't real, magic won't real, and it's all science. And any real scientist will tell you that science only takes you so far, and you get to that point where you realize there's more than what science can tell you. There's a God element. There's a magic element. There's a miracle element. And I promise you, I don't put limitations on what good can do. I don't put limitations on what God can do. And there's been so many lies. We ain't never been to the moon. I'm just going to tell you that flat out. Ain't no spaceship landed on the moon. Nowhere at any point. All of these rumors and lies that they've convinced us of for generations, these banking systems to put false kings on their thrones, they're not kings. It's corruption, and they use money and addictions, and people no longer have faith as they're supposed to. People don't walk with God like they're supposed to. They they trade it for money and uh, a false sense of security. And that's what we all want. We all want love, security, a home, purpose, and fulfillment. Every single person wants this. All right? Now, they take the best of us, the ones who have the fire, the passion. Now, passion is a fire, all right? Now, if you let passion go out of control, it's same thing with a fire. It'll consume everything in its path. But if you keep it burnt in the right way, that fire will burn constantly and not overconsume. It'll just be used to keep you warm and to help you through in even the coldest situations. But if you, there's so many, there's no coincidences in life. Everything is by design, all right? And it's in every movie, every song, and it's the greatest love story that was ever written. And it's in everything. And love is so powerful. It's so wonderful. It's what makes life worth living. That love of God, that love of the perfect woman, that love of that perfect man, that love of perfectly imperfect. Like, if we were, it's the little things that make us different, the imperfections. That's what makes you love that person. That's what makes that person. And you love them for it. I just want to help the world open their eyes and realize the power of belief. Nowadays, so many people believe so many different things. I want us to believe in love. I want us to believe in our happily ever after. I want us to believe in everybody getting to have their fairy tale, the princes and princesses, the magic kingdom. It's all true, y'all. Every bit of it. Who are you? Which Disney character did you relate to the most? And there's a lot of NPCs out here. There's supposed to be more animals than there are, because animals connect better to nature and God. And no, an ant doesn't have to be told how to be an ant. A wolf don't have to be told how to be a wolf. Why do you think people need to be told how to be a person? When you are a child is when you make your place of who you are in this world, before the world corrupts and tells you what you're supposed to do to make money and provide and this, that, and the other. And I fell for it like everybody else. And had I not had kids as young as I did, I'd have figured this out when I was 18, 19 years old, in my early 20s, okay? Because I had already made all the money and had girls and pretty much the whole world at my fingertips, but I wasn't satisfied. Something was missing. So I went back to when I was a kid, and I thought about how I never understood jealousy, how I never understood envy and greed. Like, I gave freely. It didn't mean anything to me. And I never wanted anything to control me. And I didn't want anything to change who I was. No matter how many times I got screwed over, I wasn't going to stop giving to people. I wasn't going to stop helping people. And when I was younger, where I grew up, it was the principles. If somebody owed me $5 and they didn't pay it, I was going to come after them. But then I learned real quick, if you do that with every single person, you're going to spend your life in jail. And Every person who stood up for right causes ends up being punished. They have a lot of our righteous sitting in jails or mental hospitals. If you speak out and tell the truth en masse, if they can't make you look crazy, they're going to kill you, or they're going to do both. They have come at me through my family because they couldn't get me. And I have ended up in a mental hospital a couple times. And I got a clean bill of health both times. And all I want to do is help make this world a better place. And as much as I see the people going crazy, I see the earth coming back. I see the air cleansing itself. I see flowers that I've never seen blooming. The trumpets that they talk about in the Bible. And people keep hearing these noises in the air. I'm going to let y'all know right now, a lot of that's being man-made, controlled to put fear in us, all right? The trumpets are flowers preparing for the wedding. This world is going to bloom and be so beautiful for the wedding. Fruits and vegetables and all the foods we need are going to grow abundantly. Because that's how they control us. We don't even realize what we're eating or where it comes from. There was a time when we always built a pyre for our dead, and we would burn them. Then we decided to put them in the ground and bury them. And what do we get our fruits and vegetables from? The ground where we bury our dead. The circle of life, the snake eating its own tail, whatever you want to call it, however you want to see it. And I feel this is supposed to be a discussion and an understanding. I don't claim to know absolutely everything, but I know I figured out a whole lot. Like why Jesus had a crown of thorns, because all the thorns that started growing. But guess what grows on these thorns? Blackberries, all kinds of berries, roses, rainbows, man. Oh God, the colors. You have no idea what goes on right in front of you, but you can't perceive it. Just like they say dogs are colorblind and they can only see in certain colors. Well, imagine there's stuff around you all the time right now, but you can't perceive it because you're colorblind. Well, when you know someone intimately, you know them by their step, by their smell, by their laugh, by their demeanor. And while they can wear masks and disguise themselves and look just like your father or your brother or your sister, they cannot hide their true nature. And you know the nature of your families, all right? Like a feline cat, a house cat. I can't stand them. Now, there are some good cats. There's good and bad and probably everything, I guess. But a cat will show you its true nature. They're murderers. They kill almost any and everything that they can, from rabbits to birds to squirrels to anything. And not to eat it, they kill it for sport. And house cats are not like any other big cats. Big cats have round eyes. Big cats have, I don't know, moral code. And if you remember, in Egypt, they worshipped cats. Hold on, I got a phone call.